Okay, joined now by Tina Griffin, the counterculture mom. Tina, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me once again.
It is interesting, what seems to be a progressive addiction to teaching kids about every aspect of sex. Isn't it amazing how quickly it turns into parody? I mean, it's almost as if this was never about sex. It was about going as graphically and far down the rabbit hole you can to educate or disturb kids. We have a really creepy story out of Denmark, of all places. We know that Europe is slightly more libertine than the U.S. even now, but we're closing the gap. Talk about this new cartoon centered around a man whose giant, uncontrollable penis gets him into all sorts of adventures.
Yes, Dr. Duke, it's really disturbing. And there's some days for the parents tuning in right now where I just literally want to cry. I'm like, is there anything we can do about it? Yes, it's not to tune into this, but I can't even believe TV shows like this exist. This is out in Denmark. It's called John Dillerman, and it just came out. It's targeted to kids between the ages of 4 to 8 years old. And I just want to break down what Dillerman actually means. Now, Diller in Danish means penis, and mand means man. So this show is basically called Penis Man. And it's geared, like I said, for very young children. And his penis is just constantly growing. It clings to objects. It gets him in trouble if it ties itself around a balloon. He's up in the air and his penis keeps growing, and they laugh at it. They mock at it. This show is claiming that it teaches kids to be more comfortable with their body parts. But I can tell you, Dr. Duke, as a child at 4 to 8 years old, I was playing with Cabbage Patch dolls. I was out roller skating with my friends, playing with blocks and in the mud. I was not watching programming talking about my boobs and my bottom. This is just unbelievable and is not needed. And it just literally encourages kids to be sexually active at a very young age.
We have a clip. Mike, go ahead and roll that.
Dillerman, John Dillerman. Han er verdens længste dillermand. Der næsten ikke noget, han ikke kan med det. Han kan svinge den rundt, han kan blive lidt flow. Han kan redde hele verden, hvis han bare fik lov. John Dillerman, John Dillerman, John Dillerman. John Dillerman, John Dillerman, John Dillerman.
The irony is they could just as easily have done this as a tale, right? It was the transformation of what could be a super long, it'd still be a stupid show, even for a 4-year-old. But the idea that they had to take that away from like a tail and transform it into a penis, the whole purpose of this show is nothing more than one long series of penis jokes. And the other thing I would say about it too, it's a little problematic. If you had a show like this in politically correct Denmark, where they objectivized a woman's breast this way, a woman with super big breasts that led to all sorts of mockery. I don't think the PC censor police would have allowed it to happen. But this is an objectification of men that doesn't seem to bother the people over there.
I completely agree. And it makes me wonder how depraved a person's mind is who's even writing these episodes. That person needs help, obviously. But parents, just be aware. It's one great reminder again. We have the Counterculture Mom app. We can talk more about that later, but download it. And then be very diligent on what comes into your home for entertainment. This isn't even entertainment. It's major brainwashing. And believe me, you do not want to deal with the consequences of what will happen if your kids are engaging in this type of entertainment.
Well, speaking of this type of entertainment, we've done a couple of shows over the years, you and I, about Big Mouth, this animated TV series that you can get on cable that pushes the boundaries of sexuality, certainly. And now they have a new game you can download. It's called Hand Masters. And I think from the very title of the game, Hand Masters, it's pretty obvious it's a game that encourages and promotes masturbation.
Yes. And honestly, Dr. Duke, once again, headlines, I'm like, there's nothing that's going to be shocking me anymore because I've been researching entertainment for 20 years, talking about it on stage around the globe. And yet there are titles like this coming through on my inbox, different entertainment that's released. I'm like, are you serious? It actually can get worse. This is a masturbation game where through Facebook, this game called Hand Masters, kids can engage in it. They say you have to be 16 and above. Seriously, any kid can get on Facebook within 3 seconds and sign up and say they're 16 and they're actually 7. So the problem with it is you shake your phone as if you're actually masturbating. And it's a competition between other players. Now, I have parents currently telling me, don't worry, it's currently stripped down. And I have other parents saying, you got to be kidding me. I caught my kid on this Hand Masters game last week. That's what resurfaced because this actually came out in 2018 and we thought it was gone, but it's not. It's still out there. Parents made us aware of it, and our team was on it to make sure people were aware. This show obviously promotes, once again, sexualizes young kids in a very disturbing way, where they go from a handmasters game to actually doing it in real life, and then with other kids, and then they get pregnant and STDs and all the rest. You want your kids to stay STD free, have them stay off handmasters.
Well, there's a particularly disturbing clip here we're going to show you as well. So if mom and dad, if you've got kids in the room, you might want to send them away.
Maybe you should, masturbate.
I've never really done that before.
You're doing great. Twist harder, faster. That was legendary, man.
Now, I know this is a cartoon, so to speak, but yet not only are you encouraging a young boy to masturbate, you have an adult creature of some sort. Does it strike you as like it was a little bit demonic? It was certainly a little bit demonic to me with its one horn. So you've got a demon creature, an adult demonic creature, egging a child on to masturbate in the same bedroom. So I ask yourself, how would you get away with this in any other context if you weren't hiding behind the guise of edgy, downloadable apps from Netflix?
You're right on. And then the other problem is if that happens in real life, you find yourself behind bars if you're the person doing this to a child. And this child is then cutting, self-mutilation. They've got depression, suicide. And a lot of parents don't even know this game exists. It's hard to keep up. And the one thing I want to add to this, Dr. Duke, which to prove your point, STDs are running rampant among our teens and tweens today. It is very high. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, which I've been following very closely for 2 decades, states on their website that 1 in 4 sexually active adolescent females have an STD. Young people ages 15 to 24 years old acquire half of the new STD cases. Here's a show teaching kids to engage in a behavior that literally causes the STD rates to skyrocket and teen pregnancy. They should be fined and put in prison. We have to make sure we know what's coming into our homes once again for entertainment, and that will help us block so many skyrocketing cases of STDs and other issues that come as a result. The other thing is parents. We're not going to catch everything, so have conversations with your kids about this. Say, hey, I heard about this wild game called Handmasters. You know anything about it? Play stupid. See if your kid actually says, you know what, I kind of played that last week. Well, what is it? Like, can you tell me more? Once again, play stupid, have that conversation start, and then help them see and even show them, like I have on my website, a little section of STD info where they can get on counterculturemom.com in the resources tab what STD pictures look like. If you engage in this stuff, here's what's going to happen as a result. It's a bomb. When people see the truth, when these kids see the truth, they do decide to run from it.
But before we leave today, give us a sense where people can find your stuff.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for the work you do, Dr. Duke. We got to get the truth out there. Don't let your kids be pressured by something that's literally going to leave them with a lifetime of regrets. That's all I have to say. We have a really, really good, excellent app called Counterculture Mom. Download it from the iTunes store. We're still up there, shockingly. Pray for us that we don't get stripped down. So many apps are now going down like Parler and all the rest. But this app is up there. We're very careful with what we put out there, but it's right now uncensored. It's content that you need to see, and Apple is not blocking us from it. Everywhere else in social media right now is taking down our info. So the app is the best spot to go to, Counterculture Mom app. Get the premium section in the upper right-hand corner. Click on it for $4.99 a month. You get all of our stuff. We have a team of 20 people pumping out at least 2 or 3 alerts a day, so you can find out ahead of time what is coming out in the world of entertainment to help protect your kids and get a ton of positive video games, TV shows, movies, apps that your kids can play, and you can sleep at night knowing that the content going in their brain will not destroy them. So keep at it, parents. It's worth the fight.